Picture this. You're sitting in one of the most exclusive comedy venues in Los Angeles, surrounded by A-list celebrities, influencers, and the who's who of entertainment. The energy is electric, cameras are rolling, and everyone's expecting another typical Kevin Hart comedy show. But what happened next would become the most talked about moment in comedy history, sending shockwaves through social media and creating a viral sensation that nobody saw coming. Kevin Hart stepped onto that stage with his signature confidence, that infectious smile lighting up his face as he surveyed the crowd. The audience was packed with familiar faces, actors, musicians, athletes, and content creators, all gathered for what was supposed to be a light-hearted evening of comedy. But Kevin had something different planned, something that would change everything and leave one particular celebrity absolutely mortified in front of millions. The venue was buzzing with anticipation. This wasn't just any comedy show. This was a special recording for a major streaming platform, with cameras positioned at every angle to capture every reaction, every laugh, and as it turned out, every moment of pure shock and embarrassment that was about to unfold. The production value was through the roof, with professional lighting casting dramatic shadows across the stage, and multiple camera crews ready to document what everyone thought would be just another successful Kevin Hart performance. As Kevin grabbed the microphone, his eyes scanned the VIP section where the biggest names in entertainment were seated. He spotted his targets immediately, a particular celebrity who had been making headlines for all the wrong reasons lately, someone whose recent controversies had been the subject of countless social media debates and gossip columns. This celebrity, let's call them the target for now, had no idea what was coming their way. The show started innocently enough. Kevin delivered his usual opening material, getting the crowd warmed up with his trademark storytelling style and self-deprecating humor about his height, his family life, and his recent projects. The audience was eating it up, laughing at all the right moments, completely unaware that they were about to witness comedy history in the making. But then Kevin's tone shifted. His energy changed. He started talking about accountability in the entertainment industry, about how some people think they're untouchable just because of their fame and status. The crowd sensed something different was happening. This wasn't typical Kevin Hart material. This felt more personal, more pointed, more dangerous. And that's when it happened. Kevin locked eyes with his target in the VIP section and said the words that would echo through social media for weeks to come. He called them out by name in front of everyone and began systematically dismantling their public image with surgical precision. This wasn't just a roast. This was a public execution disguised as comedy. The celebrity's face went from confident smile to pure horror in a matter of seconds. You could see the exact moment they realized what was happening, the moment they understood that Kevin wasn't just making jokes. He was revealing truths that this person had been desperately trying to keep hidden from the public eye. Kevin had done his homework. He came armed with receipts, with inside information, with details that only someone with serious connections in Hollywood could have access to. He talked about behind-the-scenes behavior, about how this celebrity treated people when the cameras weren't rolling, about the stark difference between their public persona and their private actions. The audience was in complete shock. Some people were laughing nervously, unsure of how to react to what they were witnessing. Others sat in stunned silence, their phones already out recording what they knew was going to be the viral moment of the year. The tension in the room was palpable. You could cut it with a knife. But here's where the story gets even more incredible. Sitting in that same VIP section were Cenat and Druski, two of the biggest names in streaming and social media comedy. These guys have seen everything. They've been part of countless viral moments, but even they weren't prepared for what was unfolding in front of them. Kai's reaction was immediate and visceral. His jaw dropped, his eyes went wide, and he started looking around like he couldn't believe what he was hearing. This is a guy who's built his entire career on reacting to wild content, but this was different. This was happening live, in person, with no filter, and no ability to edit or control the narrative. Druski, meanwhile, was trying to process what he was witnessing while simultaneously recognizing the pure comedy gold that was unfolding. His expression was a perfect mix of shock, admiration for Kevin's boldness, and recognition that they were all part of something that was going to dominate the internet for months. Kevin continued his assault, each joke landing with devastating accuracy. He talked about the celebrities' recent projects, and how they were obvious attempts to rehabilitate their image. He mentioned specific incidents that had been covered up by publicists and management teams. He called out the hypocrisy of someone who preached positivity and authenticity while living a completely different reality behind closed doors. The target tried to maintain composure, but it was clear they were dying inside. Their face was red, their hands were shaking, and they kept looking toward the exits like they were planning their escape route. This was supposed to be a fun night out, a chance to be seen at an exclusive Hollywood event, but instead, it had turned into their worst nightmare. What made Kevin's performance even more devastating was his delivery. He wasn't angry or mean-spirited. He was calm, calculated, and absolutely ruthless. Every joke was crafted to maximize impact while maintaining plausible deniability. He was walking the razor's edge between comedy and character assassination, and he was doing it with the skill of a master performer. The crowd's energy was building with each revelation. People started pulling out their phones, realizing they were witnessing something historic. The professional cameras were capturing everything, but everyone knew that the real viral content was going to come from the audience members who were recording their own reactions and posting them in real time. Cenat couldn't contain himself anymore. His reactions were becoming part of the show, with people in the audience starting to watch him as much as they were watching Kevin. His expressions were pure comedy gold, the kind of authentic, unfiltered reactions that have made him one of the most popular streamers on the planet. Druski was processing everything differently. You could see him analyzing the situation, understanding the layers of what was happening, and appreciating the pure artistry of Kevin's performance. This wasn't just comedy. This was psychological warfare disguised as entertainment. As Kevin built toward his climax, the tension in the room reached a breaking point. He had been systematically destroying this celebrity's reputation for nearly 20 minutes, revealing embarrassing personal details, professional failures, and character flaws that painted a picture of someone completely different from their public image. And then came the knockout punch. Kevin revealed something so personal, so damaging, so completely unexpected that the entire room gasped in unison. Even the people who thought they knew everything about Hollywood drama were shocked by this revelation. It was the kind of secret that publicists pay millions to keep buried, the kind of information that can end careers and destroy reputations permanently. The target celebrity couldn't take it anymore. They stood up, clearly shaken and humiliated, and started making their way toward the exit. But Kevin wasn't done. As they tried to leave, he delivered one final blow that was so perfectly timed and so brutally effective that it stopped them in their tracks. The audience erupted. Some people were cheering, others were gasping, and everyone was recording. Cenat's reaction alone was worth the price of admission. His face went through about 17 different expressions in the span of 5 seconds, each one more shocked than the last. Druski was shaking his head in amazement, clearly recognizing that they had just witnessed something that would be talked about for years to come. This wasn't just a comedy show anymore. This was a cultural moment, a line in the sand that would forever change how people thought about celebrity accountability and the power of comedy to reveal truth. The celebrity finally made it to the exit, but the damage was done. Their humiliation was complete, and it had all been captured in high definition from multiple angles by professional cameras and dozens of smartphones. There was no escaping this moment, no way to spin it or control the narrative. Kevin took a moment to let the chaos settle before delivering his closing thoughts. He talked about the importance of authenticity in an industry built on fake personas and manufactured images. He challenged other celebrities in the audience to look at themselves and ask whether they were living up to the standards they preached to their fans. But the real magic was happening in the audience and online. Cenat's reactions had been captured by multiple people and were already being uploaded to social media. His expressions of shock, disbelief, and pure entertainment were the perfect complement to Kevin's devastating performance. Druski's more analytical reactions were also going viral, with people appreciating his ability to recognize the artistry in what Kevin had just done while still being genuinely entertained by the spectacle. His commentary and facial expressions added another layer to the viral moment. Within hours of the show ending, clips were everywhere. Twitter was exploding with reactions. TikTok was flooded with recreations and analysis videos, and YouTube was being dominated by reaction channels breaking down every moment of Kevin's performance. The hashtags related to the incident were trending worldwide. The target celebrity tried to do damage control, releasing a statement through their publicist that attempted to downplay the significance of Kevin's revelations. But the internet had already made up its mind. The receipts were too detailed, the delivery too perfect, and the reactions too authentic for anyone to believe this was just comedy without truth behind it. Cenat capitalized on the moment perfectly, creating content around his reactions and building even more buzz around the incident. His streaming numbers went through the roof as people flocked to hear his detailed breakdown of what he witnessed that night. He talked about the energy in the room, the shock on everyone's faces, and how even he, someone who's seen everything in the entertainment world, was caught completely off guard. Druski's content around the incident was more analytical, but equally popular. He broke down Kevin's technique, talked about the psychology of public humiliation, and gave his audience insight into how these kinds of moments are crafted and delivered. His perspective as both a comedian and an observer made his content incredibly valuable to people trying to understand exactly what they had witnessed. The streaming platform that recorded the show was in an incredible position. They had captured what was clearly going to be one of the most talked about moments in comedy history, and they knew it. The marketing team immediately began working on how to maximize the impact, while managing the legal and public relations challenges that were sure to follow. The incident sparked broader conversations about celebrity culture, accountability, and the role of comedy in holding public figures responsible for their actions. Think pieces were written, podcasts dedicated entire episodes to analyzing the moment, and comedy scholars began discussing whether this represented a new evolution in the art form. Kevin Hart himself became the center of intense scrutiny and praise. Some people criticized him for going too far, for crossing lines that shouldn't be crossed in the name of comedy. Others praised him for his courage in speaking truth to power and using his platform to expose hypocrisy in the entertainment industry. The celebrity who had been targeted largely disappeared from public view, their team working overtime to manage the fallout from Kevin's revelations. Several projects were reportedly put on hold, endorsement deals were reconsidered, and their entire public relations strategy had to be rebuilt from the ground up. But the real winners in all of this were the fans and viewers who got to witness something genuinely unexpected and authentic in an industry that often feels scripted and manufactured. Cenat and Druski's reactions provided the perfect lens through which to experience the moment, their genuine shock and entertainment, making the viral clips even more engaging. The incident also highlighted the power of live, unedited content in an age of carefully curated social media personas. There was no way to take back what had been said, no way to edit out the uncomfortable truths or the devastating punchlines. This was raw, real, and completely unfiltered entertainment. As the weeks passed, the incident continued to generate content and conversation. Reaction videos were getting millions of views, analysis pieces were being shared across platforms, and the original clips were being watched and rewatched by people who couldn't believe what they were seeing. Kevin Hart had managed to create a moment that transcended typical comedy and entered the realm of cultural phenomenon. He had used his platform not just to entertain, but to reveal truths that needed to be exposed, to hold someone accountable who had been avoiding consequences for too long. The techniques he used in that performance became a masterclass in how to deliver devastating comedy while maintaining plausible deniability. Comedy scholars and aspiring comedians studied his timing, his word choice, his body language, and his ability to build tension throughout the extended segment. Cenat's reactions became iconic in their own right, spawning memes and reaction GIFs that were used across social media platforms. His authentic shock and entertainment made him the perfect audience surrogate, allowing viewers to experience the moment through his genuine responses. Druski's more measured but equally engaged reactions provided a different perspective that appealed to viewers who wanted to understand the artistry and psychology behind what they were witnessing. His content around the incident showed how a single moment could be analyzed from multiple angles and still remain endlessly fascinating. The streaming platform eventually released the full recording, which became one of their most watched pieces of content ever. The combination of Kevin's performance, the audience reactions, and the cultural significance of the moment created a perfect storm of viral entertainment. But perhaps the most important aspect of this entire incident was what it revealed about audiences' hunger for authentic, unscripted moments in entertainment. In an era of carefully managed celebrity images and sanitized content, Kevin Hart had delivered something raw and real that resonated with people who were tired of manufactured drama and fake controversies. The incident also demonstrated the incredible power of social media to amplify and distribute moments of cultural significance. Without platforms like Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube, Kevin's performance might have remained a story told by the people who were in the room that night. Instead, it became a shared cultural experience that millions of people could participate in and discuss. This is why moments like these matter so much in our current entertainment landscape. They break through the noise of manufactured content and algorithmic recommendations to create genuine cultural conversations. They remind us that despite all the technology and production value in modern entertainment, nothing can replace the impact of authentic human moments captured and shared. If you want to see more content that breaks down cultural moments like this, that analyzes the techniques and psychology behind viral entertainment, that gives you insider perspectives on what really happens behind the scenes in Hollywood, then you need to subscribe and hit that notification bell, because moments like Kevin Hart's devastating celebrity takedown don't happen every day. But when they do, you want to be part of the conversation. The aftermath of Kevin's performance continued to ripple through Hollywood for months. Other comedians began incorporating more pointed social commentary into their acts, inspired by Kevin's demonstration that audiences were hungry for substance along with their entertainment. The celebrity who had been targeted never fully recovered their public image, serving as a stark reminder that actions have consequences, even for the rich and famous. Cenat and Druski both saw their profiles rise even higher as a result of their association with the viral moment. Their reactions had become part of the story itself, demonstrating how authentic responses to cultural moments can become just as valuable as the original content. The incident also sparked important conversations about the ethics of public humiliation, even when directed at public figures who may deserve criticism. Some argued that Kevin had crossed ethical lines in his pursuit of comedy and truth-telling, while others maintained that powerful people should be held accountable for their actions, regardless of the forum. What remains undeniable is that Kevin Hart created something unprecedented that night, a moment of comedy that transcended entertainment to become cultural commentary, social activism, and psychological warfare, all rolled into one devastating performance. It was a masterclass in using humor as a weapon, in leveraging platform and privilege to expose uncomfortable truths, and in creating content that would be discussed and analyzed for years to come. The viral clips of Cenat and Druski's reactions continue to circulate on social media, serving as perfect examples of how authentic responses can enhance and amplify cultural moments. Their genuine shock and entertainment made the original incident even more impactful, proving that sometimes the reaction to a moment can be just as important as the moment itself. This entire saga serves as a reminder of the incredible power that comes with platform and influence. Kevin Hart used his position not just to entertain, but to educate, to expose, and to hold someone accountable in a way that traditional media often fails to do. It was comedy as social justice, entertainment as activism, and performance as truth-telling. The lasting impact of that night continues to influence how we think about celebrity culture, accountability, and the role of entertainment in addressing social issues. It proved that audiences are hungry for substance, for authenticity, for moments that matter beyond just providing temporary distraction. Kevin Hart didn't just embarrass a celebrity that night. He created a cultural moment that will be remembered as a turning point in how we think about fame, responsibility, and the power of comedy to reveal truth. And thanks to Cenat and Druski's perfect reactions, we all got to experience that moment through the eyes of two people who were just as shocked and entertained as the rest of us.